Hello. Today, as the title said, our topic for today is how you can lose weight and keep it off. Now, if this is your first time to watch a video of mine, I wanted to explain that the main purpose for this YouTube channel is to show others how they can lose weight and how you can keep it off. Now, how can I give you information or encouragement or experience about any of that? Do I have a PhD in nutrition? No. Am I a personal trainer? No. Have I done extensive research on the internet and come up with my own hypothesis? No, not that either. What I've done is in 2018, I started a personal weight loss journey, and I weighed in at 213 pounds. Last Monday, I weighed 122. Now, that's, as any of you can guesstimate, that's 91 pounds difference. And that's for a period of almost 8 years. So that's my expertise, my experience. I've been successful not only in losing weight, but in keeping it off for almost 8 years. Now, I've had some ups and downs, but for the most part, have been quite successful. Now, I don't say that with pride or boastful or anything. I say it because I have a heart for people that are struggling to lose weight. Still deep down inside, I'm still that person. I'm still that 213 pound person, and I could turn right back into it if I didn't follow certain, what I call mantras. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to share 3 tips with you, or mantras, as I just called it, about how you can lose weight. And then I'm going to have a bonus at the end about how you can keep it off. So if this is your first time watching, and I've piqued your interest about what my other videos will be about, consider subscribing and be sure and press that notification bell too, and then you'll get all of my videos. All right, let's start with these 3 tips on how you can lose weight and keep it off. I'll be looking down here occasionally because I'm not as young as I used to be, so I can't remember all these tips by heart, so I've got me some cheat sheets down here to refer to during the video. Tip or mantra number 1, get your mindset ready to have a successful weight loss. If you don't believe in the program that you're about to start, I can promise you, you will not lose much weight. You might lose some initially, but you're not going to lose the amount you need to, the amount that will get you into that healthy weight range. So you've got to have confidence in whatever weight loss program you're about to embark on. And the way you do that is you research it. You know what you're getting into. You don't just haphazardly start a program. You know, with my experience, I started Weight Watchers. Now, don't turn the video off. You don't always have to go to meetings to be a member of Weight Watchers. Out of all these years, I've only been to 1 meeting. You see, I do Weight Watchers all online. I have access to the app, to the community, to the website, to where I can get a lot of recipes, and I get emails almost daily to give me encouragement. And so I prayed about what weight loss program I need to embark on in January. And God kept just throwing things in front of me, like commercials. I met one person that had been on Weight Watchers for over 3 years, and she had lost her weight a couple of years before and was still at a very healthy weight range. So that gave me encouragement and gave me confidence that I knew what I was about to start. And I was excited about it. So excited that I started before Papa. Papa, who is my husband of almost 48 years, was going to start Weight Watchers with me at the first of the year. Well, January the 6th, which was a Monday, rolled around, and I was ready to start. And he wasn't. He wanted to wait another week. So I waited 3 more days, and then I started on January the 9th. I'm so glad that I did, that I started on a Thursday instead of a Monday. I can eat a little bit more on the weekend and make up for it the early part of the week, to where if my weigh-in day was on Monday, I'd really have to be real good on the weekends, and I'm not always real good on the weekends. Anyway, you've got to have confidence in the program you start. Now that's tip number 1, and this is tip number 1B. Not only do you have to have your mind set to be successful, you need to have a goal. And when I talk about a goal, I'm not talking about a goal weight. I'm talking about, well, in Weight Watchers, they call it a why. What is your why? Why do you want to lose weight? For me, my why was I wanted to be able to get down in the floor with my then 3-year-old grandson and play with him. You see, 10 years earlier, I had done that with his first cousin. I'd been able to get down in the floor with my granddaughter and have a lot of fun with her. But from the time that my grandson was able to do anything, I wasn't. You see, I was in a boot for 4 months in the year of 2013. So it was all I could do to get up and go to the sink and wash dishes. Anyway, that was my why. Now, your why could be completely different from that. It could be you're going to get married in a few months, and so you want to look your best. Or you've got a class reunion coming up, and you would like for people to say, wow, she looks just like she did in high school. Or maybe even better, she looks better than she looked in high school. She seems to be in better shape than she was 50 years ago. I don't know that anybody would ever say that to me, but at least that's a why. Another why might just be to be healthier. It's like I said a few minutes ago, I was in a boot for 4 months in 2013. I got scared that that was going to lead to a wheelchair. And so that was a rude awakening for me. So that was a little bit of my why, but the main why was I wanted to get in the floor with my grandson and play race cars and Play-Doh and whatever he wanted to play with. That's what I wanted to do. Tip number 2, cut your portion sizes in half. I know you're sitting here thinking, what? Cut them in half? We as Americans eat more than double what we need to be eating. Once I started Weight Watchers, I realized that I was eating more than double what I needed to eat, especially when I went to restaurants. You know, they recommended 4 ounces of meat, 4 ounces of vegetables, 1 slice of bread, or, you know, something like that. And when I went to a restaurant, a lot of times the smallest steak they even offered was an 8-ounce steak. So I realized then I'm eating way too much. You know, now when I go to a restaurant, I eat about half of what they bring to me and take a lot of it home and eat it the next day. So I can make 2 meals out of 1 easily nowadays. But I will be honest with you. When I started Weight Watchers back in 2014, for the first 2 weeks, I was hungry. Now, why was I hungry? Because I'd been eating whatever and whatever amounts and whenever I wanted to. So my body had to get used to eating the right amounts. I've had people make comments on my videos before. Oh, And by the way, if you have your favorite tip that you like or something that you might call your mantra on how to lose weight, please put it down in the comments. I'm always interested, and who knows, I could learn a lot from you too. Anyway, I've had people make comments before saying, you don't eat enough. I eat more than enough. I consume a lot of food during the week. I don't show it a lot of times on this YouTube channel, but I can promise you I'm not going hungry anymore. My body just had to get used to eating less because I was eating every time I wanted to, whatever. I mean, I was a binge eater from way back. I might even finish off about a half of a package of Oreo cookies in one sitting. I can steal, if I'm not careful, an open bag of potato chips or pretzels or something like that is going to end up being an empty bag of potato chips or pretzels. I have to really discipline myself in things like that I crave or that I really like. I have to remind myself that I don't eat everything I want to eat anymore. Yes, I can eat a lot and still weigh the weight that I do, or actually lose weight if I need to, but I just don't eat the amounts that I used to before I started a weight loss program. So that's number 2. You'll be hungry, but cut your portion sizes in half. And an easy way to do that is always have a scale. I use a food scale weekly. I used it last night, and I'm not even trying to lose weight, but I want to know, I was eating a baked potato, and I wanted to know how many ounces it was. It was pretty big, but that's okay. I can eat it if that's the healthy choice of foods that I'm picking. All right. Now, tip number 3, keep up with what you eat. Now, what does that mean? Okay, with Weight Watchers, it's called tracking. I go on the app. It does it pretty much for me. All I have to do is type in what I've just got through eating or what I'm about to eat, and it figures the points. You see, Weight Watchers is on a point system. I think right now I get 22 points a day, and each food has an allotment of points considering whatever the nutritional value is. Some are 0-pointed foods. Boneless, skinless chicken breast is 0 points. Quite a few of the fruits are 0. A lot of vegetables are 0. And one of my favorite things right now that is 0 points is microwave popcorn. Now that's plain popcorn. That's not in the bags that you buy at the grocery store. That's you popping your own popcorn. We track in Weight Watchers. Now in other weight loss programs, it might be called journaling, or it might be called counting macros or calories, or I track bites. Or even how much you are eating when you are doing intermediate fasting. It all depends on what program you're doing, but keep track of it. Do a log, do something. And the reason I say do that is because let's say you stop losing weight and you're still got some to lose. You can go back 2 or 3 weeks and look what you've been eating and change it up a little bit. Try something else. Eat a little bit less. Even eat a little bit more sometimes and see if that'll help. Well, if you don't have it written down, if you don't have it tracked, I can't remember what I ate yesterday. So I have to track each day or I forget. To me, that is just as important as getting your mindset for success and to lower your portion sizes. It's just as important to track what you eat. Now that's the 3 mantras that I have for losing weight. Now, as I said earlier, I weigh around 122 pounds. I'll weigh in the morning on Thursdays, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do my weigh-in this week. This was laid on my heart to do, and so that's why I'm doing it. For me to have long-term success, this is something that I've had to learn to do. And I wasn't good at it right to begin with. I had a health scare back in 2016 and 17, and I gained 20 pounds of that 90 pounds back. Once I had surgery and had the health scare remedied and everything and got over the surgery, I got back on track. I did what I needed to do in Weight Watchers, and within probably about 5 to 6 months, I'd lost more than the 20 pounds that I had gained. And I had a goal. I was going to Disney World. See, you know, if you use all three of these, you can really be successful with it. I had a goal. I was going to Disney World with my granddaughter. I had cut my portion sizes in half, and I was tracking everything that went into my mouth. But here is how I have, in my opinion, stayed at a healthy weight range for all these years. It will be, next February, will be 8 years since I got into this weight range that I'm in right now. Now, I consider October the 2nd, that's when I reached my first initial goal weight in 2014, October the 2nd. I reached 137 pounds, but I wasn't ready to go on maintenance yet, so I lost another probably 13, 14 pounds, and I went on maintenance when I was around 123 pounds. So I try to keep my weight somewhere between 120, 125, somewhere in that neighborhood, and I'm okay with that. I call 123 to 125 my happy weight. But am I weighing my happy weight? It's rare, but that's my goal. To get back to the bonus, for you to have long-term success, you have to implement all three of these tips to a much smaller extent, but you still have to do it. If you completely just go back to the way you were eating before you started, you'll gain it back. And I'm not saying you might gain it back. You will. You will gain it back. You know, I mentioned earlier that Papa went on Weight Watchers with me back in 2014. And probably around 2016, when I began to have the health problems that I had, he got off of Weight Watchers. He went back, not totally the way that he ate before Weight Watchers, but he went back enough to where he has gained half of his weight back. Now, I don't say that to beat up on him or anything like that, but I'm just saying what I've observed. You know, in 2016 and 17, I gained 20, up to 25 pounds over what my happy weight was. And I'm not proud of that because I knew what to do. I'm not making excuses because I had a health problem, but that did figure into it. Because once I got over that health problem, I was able to get the weight off. During these last couple of crazy years that we've had, I gained some weight during that time too. And last year, I finally was able to get rid of those extra 5 to 8 pounds. And I've stayed in this weight range now for about a year, a little bit less than a year, but in August it'll be a year. So I'm happy with what I'm weighing right now. But I have to be careful not to be prideful. I have to be careful not to get used to it. I spend probably an average of 30 minutes a day planning what I'm going to eat, how much I'm going to eat, and when I go to the store, what I'm going to buy. I have to make sure that I have healthy snacks on hand, or I will go off the rails. I do. I still do. After all these years, I still do. But I'm human. We all are. You're just as human as I am. You may not want to be, but you are. And so For a total of about 3 hours a week, I spend making sure that I'm going to stay in this healthy weight range for the rest of my life. As long as I've got a lick of sense left in my mind, I'm going to try to do this. Now, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you know anybody that would benefit from this video, please share it. Until next time, goodbye.